I've got a great recipe for you today. We're making Indian fry bread tacos. If you love going to the fair and getting the very popular Indian fry bread tacos, you're going to be pumped about today's recipe because we're going to show you how to make it at home. No mixes. We're making it from scratch, but it's actually very easy to make. We're going to make the fry bread from scratch with just 3 simple ingredients and warm water. We're going to fry it in the pan. It's going to be delicious. Top it with all your favorite taco toppings that you would get at the fair, and you're going to love it. Hi, I'm Carrie with eatingonadime.com. We're on a mission to help you cook well on a budget, and this recipe is going to do exactly that. If you go to the fair, Indian fry bread tacos are expensive, but actually at home, they're very affordable and frugal to make. Plus, it doesn't take a lot of work. So stay tuned for this recipe. You can grab the full recipe plus nutritional information and all the tips. We have that linked in the description, and also you can just find it by going to eatingonadime.com. We have a great search feature, and you can search Indian fry bread tacos and it'll pull right up for you where you can print it and even save it for later. First, we're going to start with 2 cups of all-purpose flour. Now, when you're measuring flour, there's kind of a trick if you don't know this when you're baking. You're going to want to scoop the flour, but don't pack it in. Once you get to the top, you're going to want to scrape off the excess with a knife or like a back of a spoon. I kind of didn't do this well. There we go. That way you get a perfectly measured 1 cup. If you actually go in and pack it on the sides, you're going to have too much flour, and that's what's going to result in kind of a thicker fry bread, and that's true for any recipe that you're baking with. You don't want to pack in your flour when you measure it. So that we have that, we're going to do a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, and you do want to pack this in, so you scoop it up and then flatten it out on the top. And then a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Then we want to mix it in together just to get that well incorporated. And we're going to add 1 cup of warm water. Now don't just dump all this water in. We're going to do a little bit at a time to get that nice dough consistency. You want it not room temperature, you want it slightly more above room temperature, so you don't want it hot, you just want it warm. We usually just run the faucet and make it warm, but if you don't want to do that, you could toss it in the microwave for a few seconds just to take the chill off. Once it's formed into a nice ball, you'll know you're ready to go. We're just going to let this sit for 5 minutes, and then we're ready to roll it out. Now that it's been 5 minutes, we're just going to lightly flour a surface for us to roll this out on. So I'm going to take that ball of dough, put it in the middle, and then I'm going to put just a little bit of flour on top and kind of press it in so we don't get stuck when we're rolling it out. Now we're just going to lightly roll this out that way we can cut it up into equal 6 pieces. To cut it into 6, we're just going, and it doesn't have to be exact. I cut it in half the long ways, and then we're just going to cut it into thirds. So we got that done, so we're just going to separate these pieces out to the side, and then we're just working 1 piece at a time. I like to kind of roll it into a little ball, and then we're going to roll that out. I'm just using the flour to make sure it doesn't stick. You're going to want it about a 1/2 inch thick, and they will puff up and expand when you fry them. we want to make sure we test the oil. We want the oil to be heated to be about 350 to 375. So this oil is looking good. We're probably going to turn it down just a little bit and we're ready to fry. Now we're going to take one of our breads and just place it right in the middle. And we're going to let it fry for about a few minutes until it begins to brown. And as you'll see, it's going to start floating to the top as it cooks. And that's perfectly okay. You don't want to overcrowd the pan, and you want to make sure you're using metal tongs when it's time to flip. We could easily fit another one in here, but we're just going to fry one at a time just since we're making a video. Now that the edges are beginning to brown, you can see right there, it's time to flip. It's only taking about 2 to 3 minutes to cook on each side. It's ready now. You can see it's nice and brown. We're going to take a plate that we have lined in with a paper towel to let it sit right on top. Now what I like to say is this is kind of like pancakes. Your first one is always a wonky. So that one was a little bit thicker than what I liked. So I rolled my next one out just a little bit thinner, and they get better the more you cook. So see, you can start seeing this one poof up like we like, just because I rolled it out just a little bit thinner. And again, you just need 2 to 3 minutes. When these edges start to brown, that's when we're going to flip it. So you can see here it's starting to brown and it's perfect and ready to flip. And you can also tell when it's time to flip because it's really easy to flip. Just another 2 to 3 minutes on this side and this one will be done. Okay, this one is ready. Beautiful on both sides. And we're going to transfer it to our paper towel plate. That's how easy it is to make the fry bread. Now we just keep them cooling and we put them on a paper lined plate so that way the grease will fall through. What we're going to do is we're just going to set this aside and then we're going to head back to the stove because that's where we're going to make our taco meat and all the toppings to make our Indian fry bread tacos. Now in a large skillet today I'm using the cast iron. We're just going to turn it up to high or medium high heat. And then we're going to add about 1 pound of lean ground beef. And we just need to brown this up in this pan. I love using this little meat divider chopper thingy-yopper. That's what I call it. You can get them on Amazon really inexpensive, but it helps break apart the meat. So we're just going to completely brown this beef. Once the meat is browned, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of taco seasoning. You can use our homemade taco seasoning recipe, or you can use just a packet of taco seasoning. And then we're going to add a 1/4 cup of water and then mix this well. Now we just need to heat up some ranch beans. This is optional, but ranch style beans, but that's usually what you find on an Indian fry bread taco. So now we're just kind of getting all our toppings that we want. I'm just going to throw this in a microwave safe bowl and microwave them for about a minute or two just to warm them up. You can also do them on your stove while you're browning your taco meat as well. Another option is you can actually mix these in with your ground beef right towards the end and heat through, but we're keeping them separate today for people like when they're assembling them. Not everybody likes beans, and so that way they can pick what they want to put on their Indian fried bread taco. Okay, my beans are nice and warm, so now we're ready to assemble. You're just going to pick your fry bread. I'm going to start by drizzling some taco sauce right on the fry bread. Then we're going to add our taco meat that we made. I'm so excited. It all smells so good and I'm starving. And then we're going to top it with some beans. Oh, I just got a little taco sauce on my finger. Oh, it looks so good. I'm excited, friends. Look at that. Now we just got to top it with our favorite toppings. Okay, so we're just going to add our favorite taco, whatever you want. And that's what's great. You can just set it up I got some lettuce, some cheese, onions, love red onions, and some tomatoes. You can even add a little sour cream on top, whatever you'd like. Isn't she beautiful? She is ready to eat. That's how easy it is to make. Isn't it beautiful? I'm ready to dig in. Oh, there's Samson. Hi, Samson. Okay, so you can find the full recipe linked in the description or by going to eatingonadime.com. I just don't want you to forget about that. We have variations, recipe, all the nutritional information as well, all logged out for you, and also a lot of tips and tricks to make this just delicious every single time. Indian fry bread tacos are not actually hard, and I hope we showed you how easy they are to make at home. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss any more of our family-friendly recipes. I'm so glad you joined me today. It's time to dig in. So we were just having a discussion on how to eat a fry bread taco if they're really big. You got to get your fork and your knife. You could just pick it up. I'm just going to pinch some off and eat some because I'm not going to be all like, maybe this is going to be too difficult today on a video. There we go. I squeezed some out. Here we go. Are you ready, guys? This is going to be a big bite. Thanks so much for joining me. I cannot wait to dig in. I will see you next time in my kitchen. Bye, friends. So good. I'll see you next time.